Okay, so what we're looking at here is Anytype running here on my Mac, the desktop app here on the left. In the middle is Anytype running on my Google Pixel, which I'm just streaming here. And then finally, Anytype for iPhone, just running here in the simulator. So let's start with the desktop, and then I can hop back and forth. And if you have any questions, I can demo specific features and everything. But this is the home screen, the dashboard, the entryway to sort of all of the objects in my life. I think probably what's most important to begin with is just to say that everything that happens in your Anytype is local, happens on your device, and it's encrypted with a key that only you know. Once this call ends and you receive your invite code in the email from me, the first time you download Anytype, you pop in that invite code and you burn it off. And that's just like how we kind of control the gates for the alpha program. But then on your machine, your computer will generate a 12-word mnemonic, just 12 random words, which is your keychain phrase. And I always start the demo with this because it's really important that you write it down and you keep it safe. And you can always find your keychain phrase by going up here to the top and clicking Settings and Keychain Phrase. And then there's also a QR code on the desktop if you fancy logging in on Android or iPhone. Likewise, you can find your keychain phrase in Settings on mobile as well. So yeah, keychain phrase. We're going to say that word a lot. Please write it down and please keep it safe. So just while we're in Settings, I'll give you a tour of a few of the features. You can change the wallpaper to kind of have your own background or customize your Anytype. You can, if you are joining us from the Notion Nation, you can export your workspace content into a Markdown or CSV file. You can do it for your entire workspace, or you can do it for certain pages. Given that Anytype is still in an alpha, I would recommend going page by page, importing piecemeal. Your mileage may vary. And then likewise, if you ever want to leave Anytype, you can export everything inside of your Anytype back into Markdown to be read elsewhere. In the latest version of Anytype, which came out last week, we have now support for changing the default type of object. So if you make a lot of notes, or you make a lot of contacts or meetings, you can configure Anytype to open straight to the type of object that you want the most. And a big fan favorite has been, for a long time, has been dark mode, which we just added. And I guess given that it's kind of dark right now, I might leave on. Yeah, so this is Anytype. The first thing I want to show you is a object for a project I built for my master's program. And if you are coming to us from Notion, you will be used to this concept of sort of building big pages, big dashboards for kind of different parts of your life, different projects. So for this one, for example, it's just like a project. I have links to other objects for each module. Previous modules, I have links to textbook that different books that I'm referencing for the program, and then even PDFs embedded, which I think we can also open and view and store and access from Anytype. That's a big file. But because of the object metaphor, we aren't kind of confined to this dashboard, but we can use sets to create different views of the same objects. So this is the same information from the dashboard page that we just saw, but instead it's more of a database grid style view of dealing with each individual class. I've given them class types, linked their projects, given them grades. These are all different relations that we can change or update if we want. If we wanted to create a brand new class, we could do that here inline. And add the relations and start filling in all the content there if we wanted. So I think one of the key points we'll try and get across in this demo is just the flexibility that you have with these objects. I'll just let in some latecomers there. Okay, so another good set that I'd like to show you is the reading list. So what I did was I created an object book, and then I've created a book for each individual an object for each individual book that I'm either reading or have finished or has been recently recommended to me. And so in this sort of set grid view, I've added relations for descriptions and for authors, for the different categories, iTunes styles, star ratings as well, and then just the status. And then over here on the right, something I really enjoyed doing was I created not only objects for each individual author, but I also created objects for all of the contacts and the people in my life who recommended these books to me. And I can show you how I had a bit of fun with that in a minute. But I'll just delve into one of these objects. So say let's open Agrinomics, for example. So this is an object itself, and this is the object canvas. If you've ever used Medium or Notion or sort of any like block-based like text editor, you'd be very used to the sort of concept of like clicking a plus button to add, say, new text blocks. Hello. Or doing it inline by typing /. And then we're also being able to sort of like inline add relations or inline create new objects and more, which I'll show you in a bit. But this is a canvas. This is a template I created myself for books where I just have images, different about text, and then I've embedded some of these relations here. But your object can have, any object can have sort of an infinite amount of relations. So if you ever want to see all of the relations in your Anytype, you can do that through this relations menu here. And in this panel, you'll see all the relations that you have available. So you can delve quite deep, or you can sort of have a big, 10,000 foot view, surface view, like you can here with sets. So as I think Shanna had said, the great thing about relations is that they let us draw lines between all of our objects, on this flat graph, the structure that underpins Anytype. And so I think as of 1 or 2 updates ago, we released the graph view for your Anytype, this sort of like unique and personal to you digital brain in many ways. So yeah, this is the graph view, and I can pop up in the settings here, and we can, let's say, zoom out and disable the orphans. We can enable or disable our labels. We can see the physical links, sort of links between each of these objects. Or I think more fun is, not view at all, seeing the relations and the lines that they draw between our objects. So one thing that I really liked about playing around with this in my own Anytype when we got the graph view was that book that I had showed you, that example book as an object there, is a book that I really enjoyed. It was recommended to me by a podcaster, and I liked it so much that I got to roll it back into my master's program and reference it in school. But one thing we learned through the graph was that the person who recommended the book to me initially is a lecturer at a university that one of our own Anytypers will be studying at next year. So, even just through building out my Anytype, I was able to use graphs and relations to kind of see different connections in my life. Yeah, so this is the graph. This is my wee digital brain. But there's kind of no shortage of ways to navigate around your objects. So one of the more standard ways is the search, this fairly comprehensive search that we've built into Anytype. So not only can you search the title of an object and the contents of the object, but also the relations as well. So we'll go back to this. And what we're going to do is very simply just search for my dad. And we'll see, obviously, I show up because, of course, we have a relation. And his contact shows up. But what I really like is a book that he suggested to me, which I created a relation for, and is now on the canvas. But even if it weren't, it would still show up, is available in search. So yeah, if you're a bit scatterbrained like myself, Anytype is really awesome for just getting the content out of your brain, getting it into the machine, and then trusting that you'll be able to find it later. Okay. So let's go back into a book, and let's pick the Moon book, sure. Okay, and down here, inline, just add a new heading, new line. Okay, and what I want to do is I just want to show you how easy it is to create a task. So we're going to create a brand new object here, inline, and then we're just going to say, buy this book for Jana. Add some relations to this. This feels like a personal task. And then I'm going to say tomorrow. And we're going to give this task to Anton. Finally, I want to add one more relation to this. And if we type /rel, you can see all of them here, or you can use the plus sign. The one that I want isn't listed, so we can just search, link contacts, and then we're just going to link this task to Jana. Cool. Okay. So that's it. We've created a new object, a new task, buy this book for Jana. If I click into it, we can open the object. And what I wanted to show you was this button up here, navigation. So next to the graph mode is the navigation panel. And what this does is it shows you the bidirectional links between your objects. So we can see that this task is linked to from the book, where we first created it inline. In the center is the object itself, and then it links out to Jana because we're buying the book for her, and it links out to Anton because we gave the task to him. So that's another way of kind of creating objects very quickly and using links and graphs to navigate between them. But if we go into this set that I built earlier, where what I have is this is a set of every single task inside of my Anytype, and they're kind of scattered between different projects and different pages. And what I've done is I've just filtered them by work, personal, or bugs that we've received from the community. But if we go in here and we go into personal, we'll see there is the task that we just created. So again, we're not sort of limited to creating this task and then having to go into the reading list and then opening the book, to deal with this object. We can search, we can see it in sets. We can sort of, work with it the way that suits you best. So one, I think, preview of something that we're building for the next stage of Anytype. So this version is all about building a tool, the best tool for people to manage the information in their own lives. And we want people to do this, encrypted. We want them to do it offline. We want them to do it privately. But as Jana had said, stage 2 of Anytype is about bringing our knowledge graphs together and collaborating and connecting with each other. So there's two things I wanted to show you. One is this profile page, which is sort of a preview of in the future when you can share types, share your objects, share relations, have shared perspectives on things with others. You'll have this page that will link back to you, and you can be a human, you can be an organization, you can be a community, you can be whatever you want, but this is the page that says, hey, this is the entity that created those objects. So I think mine right now is just information I stole from LinkedIn. But something I really like is the community page that we built. And so this is a page that I've created for the current members of the Alpha program, the idea being that if you wanted to get started, you could find all the links to our GitHub and our blog, or you could read more about Anytype, learn more about how objects work, and you can do it all here as well. So that you could build a page and share and collaborate with others kind of as easily as it is to create an object for yourself. But while we are here and on this page, what I'm going to do is try and bring some mobile in as well. So let's open this page on Android, and we'll open it on iOS. And what I want to bring to your attention is these little green dots that say synced. So here on the desktop, if you click this green guy here, this will show you the status of this object. In this case, that's this page here, this document. And the last time other devices which are logged in with my keychain phrase have requested updates, and the last time the computer, my desktop, sent any changes. Because what Anytype does is basically you create an object and then it syncs and stores all of the changes that you've made to that object. And so that's really awesome for sync, but it's also really awesome for rolling back different features. So if we have, say, this version of the page from today, we can go back to this page from, just trying to find a different version. I think we messed around with it today, didn't we? There we go. This looks incorrect. So let's use this version. So I can go back to this version from 10 o'clock this morning, click Restore, and then that's now the current version. And you will see that that those changes were synced very quickly to mobile, and then synced as well back to the desktop. So if we make some changes here, we go, hello there. You'll kind of see how fast the sync is. There we go. And that's sync. And let's, go back to the real version again, click Restore, and we're synced, except on iPhone. Okay, so that's sync. The next thing I just wanted to bring your attention to was the backup node. So one of the things that we're testing together as part of this alpha program is basically a private IPFS node that does the same job as the sync. So it's like another device on your network that again is encrypted. We can't see any of the objects. We can't see anything that you create inside of your Anytype. But it's just another place to basically sync objects and store the changes securely, encrypted. This is, again, free for all of our alpha testers. And if you have, some sort of catastrophic hardware failure and you lose all the other devices that are running Anytype, then there is a backup for you and a way to recover. Cool. So that's sync. The next thing I just want to touch on is types. So I threw a lot of words around earlier, sets and books and tasks. And basically what we've done is, so I think, maybe to start with, just as Jan had said earlier, that types they give our objects definition. We use relations and templates and layouts inside of the canvas to give them structure. And so like if I go into this book type, for example, you'll see I have all these different types of templates that I've created. We'll also see the relations that are most important for this, like author, category tag, rating. And then down the bottom, it's just a list of all of those objects here inside of my Anytype. And so there's a fairly comprehensive list of ones that we've included. And these were mostly suggestions from our alpha users. So we had a lot of users who joined us before types, and they had come to us from Notion and OneNote and other similar services. And it was their suggestions and their recommendations upon which we created all of these guys. But we quickly learned that people have use cases far beyond what we'd first imagined. So inside of Anytype, you can create an entirely new type just for you. You can give it an icon, description, name, loads of different templates. You can choose the layouts, and then you can choose whatever relations you'd like. And what is very great about all of this is that they are given, there's no special preference given to the types that we have created inside of Anytype and the ones that you've created. So I just want to show you two of mine. The first one I created is for the yearly theme from the theme system journal, if anybody is a follower of CGP Grey at all. And then the second one I created was I just wanted individual objects for each of the trips and journeys that I was planning, quite optimistically. And so we could say, create a brand new set of these. And now we can have a grid, gallery, or like a list view of each of my, travel plans. We can make these cards larger. We can say, give it a cover image. The image, I don't think there are images. And then we can, add some relations and see more information about them if we chose. So yeah, so this is sets. I'll go back out there, go home and show you a few more sets. Yeah, so for example, we have sets for all of the, all of the authors, set of contacts basically for all of the authors and where they are and what works they have stored inside of my Anytype. And then like a set of contacts, for example, of all of our Anytype team. Cool. Okay. So I think that was it from me. I'm happy to throw this over to questions.